How do you know when a potato's done cooking if you're not using a thermometer? Let me give you an example. I'm making Pommes Anna. This is a classic French dish. It's basically just potatoes that are layered and then baked together. Here are a few things that I use to make this easier. I used a mandolin, a bowl, and a vegetable peeler. Now the mandolin's kind of optional, and really the vegetable peeler as well. The mandolin just makes it more consistent, a little easier, a little faster, and the same thing with the vegetable peeler. You could use a knife for all of this. Since I have it, I'm going to use it. You want it to be consistent, you want it to be pretty thin. I'm aiming for 1 to 1.5 millimeters. And if you're using a mandolin, you always want to watch your fingers. So I'm going to use the mandolin guard here at the end. And now that I'm finished with my potatoes, I can do the fun part. So this part I would actually do a little differently if I made another one. But you're basically doing each layer. You want to put a decent amount of oil to start with, but then you're putting oil and salt in between each layer as well. So this is where I would do things a little differently. I ended up stacking them like slightly, and I think that caused gaps where it didn't all get a nice crust at the top. So there's a couple of pockets of steam that it created doing this. So next time I would lay them all flat and then keep each layer uniform in that way. The biggest thing here is you just want to make sure you're including the fat and salt. Traditionally I think it's made with butter. I used avocado oil just because I didn't have butter. Now, I didn't record putting it into the oven, but the biggest thing you want to do when you're doing this either in a skillet or a pan is putting something on top of it to weigh it down so that those layers get to cook kind of compressed together. And I put it in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and I ended up cooking it for around 35-40 minutes covered, and then I took the parchment paper off and the weight, and then I cooked it for another 15 minutes. So here you want to rub the spatula around the edges to try to loosen it. It was already fairly loose, but that was the reason why I recommended putting a lot of oil down at the bottom initially. And there you have it, Pommes Anna. Now, to answer the question of how you check for doneness, before I took the video of flipping it, I took a fork and poked into the potatoes. It should go very smoothly through. There shouldn't be any resistance. And for cutting it, you can do it with a knife. I'm using a punch here, testing out something, but I ended up using a knife for all my other cuts. So I punched two, and because of the way I layered them, they kind of started separating, and I didn't make it as thick. I probably should have did 3 or 4 potatoes instead of just 2. But overall, it tasted great. One of the comments on one of my videos was to use duck fat next time, and that seems to be a pretty popular choice when making Pommes Anna. So if I make it again, I'll definitely try it and see if that changes anything. But for my first time, I think it turned out great and super easy to do. There's not really a whole lot of recipe involved. You don't have to weigh out how much potato, how much fat, things like that. So I think it's really beginner friendly, and it tastes great. I mean, who doesn't like potatoes? Thank you for watching if you made it this far. If you found this useful, I'd appreciate a subscribe. I'll be making more videos soon. See you next time.